Hello, everybody. This is Murray Montgomery back with you on this November the 9th issue of the Lavaca County News Reviews. And I'm here with my co-host, Hans. And Hans is going to tell you a little bit about the election results.
Welcome back, everybody. Yes, we have the November 8th unofficial election results today. I know that in the county we had pretty good election turnout for the voters. That just under 60% of registered voters in Lavaca County showed up, according to the Lavaca County Elections Office numbers. And just briefly highlighting some of the results are that statewide, it looks like Senator Kolkhorst, Representative Michael Cloud, and Greg Abbott pulled away with victories in this election, according to the unofficial results. But make sure to stay tuned to lavacacountytoday.com for updated results as they become official and more polling locations submit their results.
Yeah, I think those folks that you just mentioned pretty much sealed the win. I don't think there's going to be any upsets there. And all the local people, they were unchallenged, right?
Yep, there shouldn't be any upsets there in Lavaca County or in DeWitt County because there are only Republican Party candidates. And so we do have stories on those local candidates in our papers here. I know Hallettsville and Yoakum have the different stories regarding the unopposed candidates. And for DeWitt County, since that's most pertinent in Yoakum, we got to talk to Judge Darrell Fowler as he enters his fourth term. So it's quite impressive, to be holding down the county for that long. And he talks about his goals there.
Right. And remember that you can get these updated results on your Facebook pages, whether Hallettsville, all four papers have a Facebook page. So that's where you can see any updates.
Mm-hmm. And so I'd like to thank all of the voters out here that participated in our elections this time around. And I would also like to thank the veterans. And so this Friday is going to be Veterans Day.
Yeah, the veterans, they sometimes they don't get the attention they ought to get. And I know in this week's papers, I have a column, and Bobby Hariska has. I don't know if Bobby's is in all the papers or not, but irregardless, he does have one about a Korean War veteran or war soldier finally makes it back home. And I don't know the details. You see anything there, Hans, about when or they're bringing him back, or have they already brought him back?
It looks like they brought him back Tuesday, October 25th. And he gives some details on the soldier's history and what it means for them to bring him back after the Korean War. So definitely check that out. I know I have a little bit more to read on that, but it looks like Bobby had another great story. And you had a column on Veterans Day as well.
Yeah, I wrote about the Reverend Marcus Valenta, and he was well known in the Praha area. He was at that church, St. Mary Catholic Church, or Blessed Virgin Mary Catholic Church at Praha. And he had, at that time in World War II, he had the longest active duty record. And I think it's a great story as far as talking about him and where all he was. He was at Pearl Harbor when it was bombed, and then he was at all different islands, and he saw a lot. And he really didn't want to give up. He wanted to stay in the Army for as long as he could. But he finally did retire and come back home. But he's well known in that area around Praha and Moulton and probably all of Lavaca County and Fayette County as well.
Now I'm flipping through the paper trying to find how long he was in service there. You said he held a record. Do you have those figures?
Well, he was in his 25th year.
Oh man,
as an Army chaplain when this was written.
That's a whole career.
Yeah, and he said he expected to put in 32 years, but I don't know that he did that. But I know for sure that he was in there 25 years.
Now I'm recalling Memorial Day, 2022. When I read some other columns of yours, specifically from Moulton, there are some young veterans there that you'd written a story about, and it seems like there's a lot of very interesting veterans and a lot of very interesting stories related to locals that made it in the service around here.
Yeah, this Reverend Valenta, they have a big memorial to him in the I believe it's in the cemetery there at that church.
In
But
Praha?
yes, but the things he saw was just amazing that he went through there. And people don't think a lot about chaplains. In World War II, for sure, they were in some dangerous places. He's to be honored. He really is, and I thought a lot about him when I read this story. So I hope that you'll pick it up and read it. It'll be online probably today or tomorrow. And in the meantime, well, you can see it in the Molten Eagle and the Yoakum Herald Times.
And speaking of honoring the veterans, uh, all of the papers have some stories regarding some upcoming events for this Friday, November 11th, for Veterans Day. And I know that on Facebook, we're going to have reporters out and about throughout the county, um, posting these different events as they happen. That way you get to date uh, photos and videos of what's actually happening around the county to support these veterans. So thank you for your service if there's any veterans out there listening.
Yeah, I think there's several organizations that have put flags out. I believe Jimmy Apple, he's with the Lions Club,
Mhm.
and I think they put out a bunch of flags, and they do that every year. You'll come into town and you'll see flags everywhere, and I think most all the towns do that.
Yeah, I know I was driving through Yoakum earlier in the week, and there are some veterans or I believe some Lions Club members at least, handing out flags at the intersection there, at 99 or rather 77A, going towards Cuero. So once again, thank you to the veterans.
You
Now,
bet.
moving on to some other people we should thank. There's managing editor Bobby Horechka has a story on the front page of the Shiner Gazette concerning a EMT that got an award for a great service.
Yeah, this EMT, he was traveling and he saw this toddler, and this EMT is Thomas Bourne.
Two ends.
Yeah. And anyway, he was traveling and he saw this child, and he said that it was during that, I think he was traveling to work or somewhere. But anyway, he saw this child walking, and according to Lavaca County EMS Chief Tom Decker, Bourne actually got this child and pulled over and walked over to him. It was a little boy, and the little boy was crying, and Bourne picked him up and calmed him down, and in no time flat. He said the toddler was in his arms, and it got back to his family.
Yeah, he had asked him for basically directions back to his mommy and daddy's house, and sure enough, it worked, and he got home, and he definitely deserves that award. So thank you, EMT Bourne. That's a great service, and we're very appreciative of it.
You bet. That's an outstanding thing. People need to, everybody, whether you're in law enforcement or whatever, you need to keep your eyes open, because sometimes these children, they get loose. I know when my little ones, we had to track some of them down sometimes. So keep an eye out, and that is a great thing that he did. And there's no telling how that baby could have wound up if he hadn't found him.
Exactly. And now moving on, I know this is front page news around the county, and specifically in Yoakum as well. There was a mistrial in the county, and this was concerning a prosecutor's expired license.
Yeah, I guess it was the defense lawyer that picked up on that, and that information was enough to cause it to be a mistrial.
And our managing editor, Bobby Horechka, has more on that. And once again, you can find out all the details on lavacacountytoday.com. And now on the front page of the Hallettsville Tribune Herald, the city of Hallettsville is waving goodbye to an employee that has served it for a quarter of a century. Terry Bennettson is resigning, and she had a farewell fiesta last Wednesday, I believe.
She worked for the city utility supervisor, and she was there 25 years. And if you went to the city hall to pay your light bill, more than likely you ran into this lady. I know that she is taking my money, but when I went in to pay our light bill, she's always so nice and so pleasant. And my wife, she just thinks the world of her.
Yes, and I would like to correct that that was actually Thursday, not Wednesday. And when I was there, I got to go to the farewell fiesta. There was some terrific food, I must mention, but there was also the mayor and dozens of her coworkers and customers that just appreciated her so much. And I got to speak with many of them and included that in the story. So for those of you who know Terry, I recommend you give that a read and wish her congratulations.
Yeah. So there was a lot of people there, you said, or
Oh yeah, there were dozens, and all of them had great things to say. And I hadn't met Terry before Thursday, but when I was talking to her, I immediately found out where everybody likes her. She was cracking jokes, and there's a funny picture of her on the front page, just posing with the sombrero at the farewell fiesta. So she's a lot of fun, and I can tell why she's going to be missed.
yeah.
But she is just moving, not too far at all. She's actually going to be working with Lavaca County. So we're not going to miss her too much, but you won't be seeing her, you won't be giving her money there for utilities.
All right. Good luck to her.
Now, what do you say we move on to sports?
I think that's a good idea. We've got some, before we get into sports, we've got some breaking news, I guess we could call it, about the Shiner band.
Oh yeah, some big news.
And they won, what it was 2A state champion, I believe,
Yep, I
is
have it
what I read.
written down right here. They competed on Tuesday, November 8th, and out of 18 bands that competed at the 2A state championship, they got first place, bringing home the gold to Shiner. So congratulations to the Comanche band.
Yeah, those kids, they really, they worked hard to get that honor, and they sure need to be congratulated for it. And I know that Shiner is proud of them, and the whole county should be proud of these kids.
And I think that it is almost certain that the success of the football team and the school spirit all around is dependent on the Shiner band and just how passionate they are. And you can tell if you go to a Shiner game, you can tell that they want to be there just as bad as the football players and just as bad as the fans.
You bet. I had two kids in band, and we were band parents, and I know the kids. They kind of they didn't complain a lot, but they complained from time to time that they didn't feel like that they were getting enough attention, and that's probably true in a lot of cases. We look more to the sports and the football players, but these kids, I know from experience how hard they work, and like I said, they sure need to be congratulated on this honor.
And keeping up the love for the band members here on the front page of the Yoakum Herald Times, we have the 2022 Yoakum High School Band Beau and Band Sweetheart. So congratulations to Gary Medina and Michaela Bridges. That will take us right into football. So last Thursday, it was going to be a Friday night game, but because of the heavy rains that we got on Friday, they moved it to Thursday. It was the Lavaca County showdown between Hallettsville and Yoakum.
And you were there, weren't you, at that game?
Yep, I was there live sitting with senior sports editor Chuck Graff. And so we have stories all around the county, both in Yoakum and Hallettsville. But Yoakum came down with the win. Total, the final score was 34-21, and it was an exciting game to watch.
Well, that should have been a highlight too of your day, just being able to sit beside the great Chuck Groff.
Just, yeah, being in his presence, it was really something I'll never forget.
Oh yeah, for you folks that don't know, Chuck Groff is a senior sports editor and been with the Hallettsville Tribune for years. And he probably wasn't too happy with this outcome, but the Yoakum Bulldogs need to be congratulated because they took down a good football team when they beat Hallettsville.
Oh yeah, and now they earned the three spots, the three seed for the playoffs going forward. They're going to be playing Cameron Yo. That is going to be this Friday. So good luck to the Bulldogs going forwards. And Chuck does have plenty to be happy about, despite the Brahma loss, because on Friday, the Sacred Heart Indians, they moved their game just a little bit earlier to avoid the storm, and they came back. They came down with a win over Temple, Central Texas Christian School on Friday, and that was an exciting ending of the game.
Yeah, you bet. This kid, Nick Angerstein or Steen, I don't know exactly. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it, but he kicked a school record 52-yard field goal with no time remaining in the game to win that game. And friends, I've followed football a long time, and even in the NFL or college ranks, a 52-yard field goal is something else. I tell you, that's great.
Yeah, we might not have his name pronounced correctly now, but it won't be long before everybody knows it when you're kicking 52-yard field goals.
Did you have a quote on what he said prior to kicking that field goal?
Yes,
It,
I'm flipping through the paper now, but Chuck actually got to talk to him, and he said he asked what his thoughts were before the field goal, and Nick said, in quotes, "I was chilling and confident," and I guess that's exactly what you need to be.
you bet. That's one cool dude right there.
Yeah, I want him kicking. I want to see what he can do next week.
You bet.
Now, moving forward, I know we got to finish up pretty quickly here, but Shiner came down with a win over Kennedy, and that was 56-12. Undoubtedly, the Shiner band was cheering them on throughout that.
Yeah, this team they were playing was larger, physically larger, but that didn't slow down the Comanches because Mark Luby writes that the Comanches matched the physical play and held Kennedy to two scores while scoring enough of their own in a 56-12 win Friday night at Comanche Stadium.
And Mark Luby also has the story from the St. Paul Cardinals win over the New Braunfels Christian Academy, and they blew them out. Absolutely. It was 60-7.
Yeah, they scored 33 first quarter points and had 53 points by halftime and routed them 60-7. Well, that was new, like I said, New Braunfels Christian Academy, and that also happened Friday night.
Now, getting off of the gridiron, we have a lot of congratulations to send to cross country runners from around the county as they competed in their state meets over the weekend. We had representatives from Hallettsville, Sacred Heart, Moulton, Yoakum, and Shiner. So, congratulations on your performances and on your hard fought seasons.
Yeah, I think everybody got into the act going to the cross country finals, and we are very proud of those kids. They did a really good job and tried really hard.
And a lot of them know just how proud we are as there were send-offs throughout the county. I know in Hallettsville, they drove around the high school, through town, past the junior high as well. And in Yoakum, they were also led by first responders. There was a convoy of the police that were taking Gisela Martinez and her coach Dennis Milstein through town. So once again, congratulations. And to finish off sports for the week, we got some big news out of volleyball. The Lady Bulldogs are advancing to the regional tournament after a win last night. So also some breaking news. A win over, or actually 2 nights ago now on Monday night, a win over Industrial in 4 sets.
Yeah, and this we got this picture on the front page of the Yoakum Herald Times, and that picture was taken by Raymond Rojas, and he did a great job with that. And Yoakum put forth a great effort to beat their district rivals for the third time, and like I said, winning in 4 sets. And that was Monday night at Cuero High School.
Yep, Monday at Carrera, and they Bulldog fans showed up and blew out the gym, the otherwise green gym. So we'd love to see the support, and hopefully we can get some more crowd support going forward as the Bulldogs continue their reign into the playoffs.
Yeah, congratulations and good luck.
Now, there's plenty of other sports in this week's newspapers, but we can't get to it all, so we encourage everybody to pick up a paper or four, or check us out online at lavacacountytoday.com for some more local news and local sports.
Yeah, and we need to talk a little bit about this Lavacan that came out. I believe that was mailed, wasn't it?
Yep, as of today, they should all be mailed out. So you don't have to look too hard for them because they're coming straight to your mailbox if you live in Lavaca County or in the Yoakum area of DeWitt County. And there's going to be tons of stories regarding, well, this is our Farm and Ranch magazine. So we have some agriculture-based stories. I went and talked to some pecan producers within the county, and it was such a great time. I also tried 7 great local desserts. That kind of took me out. It put me on the couch for a few days. But I tell you, there was a lot of good food. So check out the Lavakia.
Yeah, I look forward to getting it in your mailboxes because it has a lot of interesting stuff. I think you probably needed to have Henry Joe Yashek help you pick out those desserts or let him be the taster anyway.
He certainly is an expert. And I would say that the biggest draw to this special section, and it is a magazine for you that don't know exactly what we're talking about. It's a magazine that it's newspaper like in its texture there, but The main draw is the calendar. It's several pages long and it covers everything that's happening in Lavaca County this quarter as far as the different community events. So I recommend you guys check that out. You can maybe even put it up on your fridge because you have something to do every week going forward through January.
Yeah, folks, this isn't junk mail. This has a lot of good information in it. I know if you're like me, you get a lot of junk mail in your mailbox and you just toss it. And this isn't something you want to toss or throw away because it has some good and interesting stories and some good photography inside.
And some great advertisements from our local advertisers.
Right, right. We don't want to forget them because they're the people that pay our salary, and we really appreciate everybody that advertises in our papers. And one other thing, don't forget the website,
Hmm.
LavacaCountyToday.com. You'll see stories up there, you'll see obituaries up there that you might not see in the regular papers. So we invite you to go there, and like we've said before, if you get a subscription, you can read the paper anywhere you're at. You could be in Europe and you could read the newspaper.
That's exactly right. Well, I think that covers just about everything I wanted to mention in this news review. You got anything else?
Yeah, I think for the most part I would mention the classified ads because they come in handy for people trying to sell or trying to find new employees. So all our papers have a classified section, so don't forget that. But with that being said, I guess I'm ready to say goodbye, huh?
Yep. Thanks for reading. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again next week for another Lavaca County news review.
Lowe's knows that no matter your paint project, saving is at the top of your list. That's why when you shop today, you can buy one, get one free select Valspar and HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams one-coat coverage interior paints via rebate. Shop these deals in-store or online today at Lowe's. We help, you save. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Offer valid 8/21 through 9/3.